For more on this, Sama Al-Hamdani, who is a fellow at the Contemporary Center for Arab Studies at Georgetown University, joins us from Washington, D.C. Why this admission from Saudi Arabia now, after initially defending the air raid? Very few raids since the start of the conflict have been investigated. So is Saudi under outside pressure in this situation?
One would assume very much so, especially from the United States that have put a lot of their support behind Martin Griffiths, who's the UN envoy to Yemen. There are talks that are going to take place starting September 3rd. And so it seems that the U.S. has been saying out loud that they want a peace solution for Yemen. And what makes matters even more complicated is that the U.S. is supporting Saudi Arabia in its war against Iran. And they're also providing Saudi Arabia with billions of weapons that are worth billions of dollars. And so the weapon that was used in this particular case was American made. And so there was a lot of outrage surrounding what took place. At first, the Saudis didn't claim it, but it seems that there is clear evidence that they were behind it. And taking credit for that attack is, in fact, a good first step towards peace, to own up to it, to give reparations to the families, and to kind of say, hey, you know what, we don't want to do this again. We don't want to kill children. We don't want to kill people at hospitals. We don't want to target architectural sites that have historical significance. This is a good step, and what we would like to see moving forward is an investigation of how this kind of error took place exactly. Was it false intelligence? Was it communication problems? Who was behind it? And it's important to see that Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, the coalition, take full responsibility and hold those who made the mistake accountable moving forward. Now, if they're genuine, this could be a really good move towards the future. Now, if it's just for show, and if it's just to make sure that their image in the public and that the international community is pleased with them, this could potentially mean that we will see future attacks like this. And what we would like to do is to keep the pressure on to make sure that those who are engaged in Yemen's war on either side are held accountable for their behaviors and actions.
So do you see this then as a turning point in the war? Do you think that this will change anything in the war?
We've had moments before in this war where we thought, you know, this could be a turning point. But I think what happens with Saudi Arabia is you can't really say what's a turning point. I think that the turning point potentially could come up in the talks, their position in the talks, their engagement into kind of coming to a peaceful solution in what's happening in Yemen. That would be a turning point. This in itself is a good start, but we can't take it to mean anything more than what it is.
Will this impact the U.S.'s relationship with Saudi Arabia in any way?
Well, that's really difficult to say because a lot of the pressure against Saudi Arabia and what's happening in Yemen is coming from the Congress, and it's not coming from the executive administration. It's not coming from the president. But it is coming, in fact, from Nikki Haley, who's the U.S.'s ambassador to the UN, who has said that they would like to support Saudi Arabia, but that they cannot commit crimes like this moving forward. And so in a sense, the level of atrocity that's being committed in Yemen is so huge that even, you know, America, who's the biggest supporter of Saudi Arabia, cannot turn a blind eye to it. And of course, they're also afraid of being implicated in this, just because their weapons are coming from the U.S. and because they are a country that abide by international law, and they can come after the Americans for the actions of Saudi Arabia.
All right.
And so moving forward, it's in everyone's interest to engage in the peace talks and to find a peaceful solution for Yemen, because unlike Syria, Yemen is solvable.
All right, we'll leave it there. Sama Al-Hamdani, thank you for joining us today.